What's up everybody, it's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video, and today we're back in Planet Coaster Midway Park, the final episode of Midway Park. That is right, we do finish it here in this episode. So here at the very beginning of it, here we get the transfer track for the dual launch coaster all set and ready. All ready to go, and it is awesome. So we get the transfer ready for this, and pretty much it's very easy, nothing too fancy about it, except that it just has a building in it, or a building where some of the trains get stored, and that's about it. So besides that, that is the simple part, and the main part of this episode is finishing up the the dark ride on the inside, which was quite a bit of a challenge, because it didn't turn out bad, but it didn't turn out as great as I would hoped, because it was my first dark ride that I've ever made in the game. So we'll see how future ones go, but for right now, that's how that one is going to. This is how, when we get to it, we'll see. But I wanted to make a little cool, like, little rooftop here over the queue line path over here, which would be, I thought would be kind of neat. And yeah, so I wanted to finish this park up so quick, really badly. I probably didn't take as much time on as I should have, but that's okay because it still turned out pretty brilliantly, and I'm still satisfied with it, the way it has turned out. Do I like it better than Mystic Bay? That is a tough one. It is kind of a close call because Mystic Bay was very well developed, I thought, and this one is pretty well developed itself, but I feel like there's some points where it could have been better. But you keep doing it and you keep learning, so that's exactly how it goes. So that's why I want to keep these parks in the future, so I can make general park improvements even after they open, officially kind of open, if you know what I mean. Because park improvements as in changing areas up a little bit and stuff like that, and because that will happen actually. And you know, I'll announce new rides and attractions for each park each and every season, and I'm still trying to debate whether I'm going to do those every year or something like that. But let's get a little theme park chain going, as Midway Park is the second park to be completed in the JLW entertainment chain. So we are currently building another park, a third park called Terrain Park at the moment. It hasn't have an official name yet, but Midway Park is going to be kind of, you know, just what it is. Just what it says it is, the Midway Park, as in, you know, the main streets there and everything like that. And kind of fancy. It doesn't have as heavy as a theme as Mystic Bay did, but Mystic Bay also was built in Alpha 2. This one was kind of awkward in a way because it was built in Alpha 2 mostly, and converted into Alpha 3, so it has elements of both Alpha 2 and Alpha 3 in it, but it was kind of an awkward conversion, I thought, and kind of hurt the park in a way, because it could have probably been a little bit better if I had waited till Alpha 3 or finished it in Alpha 2. Because it would have been a little more consistent, but overall, it still turned out great, because Alpha 3 was supposed to make improvements, but there's still those spots that are very Alpha 2-ish, and a lot of it, and like the entrance and everything, is all Alpha 2 stuff, which is kind of interesting in itself. So it was a bit of a challenge to complete the inside of the dark ride. I've been holding it off for so long because it was so hard to do. Because I probably built this very badly in a way. I didn't do it the way it probably should have been done, because I shouldn't have enclosed it so soon, which made it a lot tougher to navigate and just get the indoor sections done. In the end, I actually do end up just getting rid of the roof and rebuilding the roof after I'm finished, because that was the more simpler way to do it, rather than using the flying camera trying to get it like I did at the very start. But anyways, nothing too fancy here in the station. Not a whole lot of theming, but I wanted to save the theming all the way inside the main part, which is going to be kind of a foresty theme and storyline to it, and as you will see here in a little bit. So I do implement some Alpha 3 props that will help out in the long run for this particular ride. As you can see, the scary trees and stuff like that will do this ride very well. I already had the back part themed out and finished, so it was just the beginning parts and stuff like that that I wanted to focus on. Like on this drop, have this like creepy tree here with glowing red eyes, which was my original intent for this part right here. And I was like, as soon as I got those lights in there, I was like, oh, this is gonna be kind of cool, because I love using these lights as like eyes for little different props like this. They look kind of creepy and look really good, so I was very satisfied with that. And you know, you're seeing this, and then you go straight into the drop down through the rocky section. So I can't get my words out. It was very cool. So again, I didn't make any cuts in this video specifically because there was a lot of this going on, of putting the indoor or the dark ride attraction together. I just can't find my words today. It's kind of ridiculous. I've recorded a lot today actually, and I wanted to make sure I got one of these episodes in. I did not know coming into this episode that it was going to be the last one, and then I just kind of made the decision at the end, like, yeah, I'm pretty much finished with this park, so I'm going to call it good. Now, when I say finished, I mean as in I'm ready to do the first cinematic video and stuff like that. Not as in I'm never coming back to the park, because there will be changes in the future to these parks as well to make them better, and that's going to be my intent to do, and work on these parks more and more as I progress. And because let's be honest, you know, when you have a good park, you gotta add on to it eventually and progress. And you know, I'm gonna do like kind of what other parks do. If a ride's not very popular, you'll take one out to put in something better and newer, you know, kind of like a thing like that. Like if a ride doesn't turn out the way I'd hoped, I can take it out in, you know, years times, let it have a useful life at least, and see how the people react and see what they want in the parks. So that's kind of how I'm gonna approach it, because it's gonna be really cool. So I went ahead and actually, I don't usually let the game play as I do this, but I wanted it to get dark so I could see the spotlights a little bit better and just kind of see what it was going to look like in the dark. Because for the POV, I'm going to be riding it in the dark, and obviously just simply so the indoor parts are dark, because it is too light in the daytime, which I kind of wish was different. If you had, you know, an enclosed building, that it would make it completely pitch dark unless you add like lighting inside the building, like real light physics in a way. I mean, the lighting is great in Planet Coaster. I just wish like they would do that in a sense, make it easier to make dark rides, because as far as I know, the only way you can make it dark when it also in the daytime is if you like have it in a tunnel underground or something, or if you use the train to go over it, which sounds very difficult in my opinion. So I don't know if I would do that or not. But anyways, this has it was a very difficult process trying to get this at least somewhat good, because I do kind of admit I rushed this dark ride a little bit, and I needed to pay more attention to the theme around it rather than just getting it finished in general, because I did tend to rush it a little bit. So I did make sure I tried to spend some time in here theming it up for the proper theming for the ride. I didn't know what too much of what to do for it, so I just kind of improvised a little bit, put some guys with guns in here just for extra effect and some fun stuff, and some lighting, rocks, and stuff like that, just to get that feel. And of course, you know, vines and different stuff on the walls. Didn't want to cover up completely though, exactly, because I wanted to make it feel like you're actually inside of a building in a way, and so I wanted to keep some of those there. And you know, the misters at the bottom of the tracks of that one section actually I think will be really neat in the end. So that is pretty much the indoor part of that complete, and I wanted to do a little more theming on the outside as well, so I thought I would add the like witch's house or something in the middle of the helix right here. I think it would be a really neat little aspect in this little dark ride and the outdoor part. So just to have like a little witches thing out here, and it matched pretty cool. Man, that Cosmic Cow building I'm regretting so much because of that yellow. It did not work out very well. So I think this is about the last thing I do after I add some misters, just to spice it up a little bit to make it look a little bit cooler. But oh, that's right, I actually do add some trash cans and a few benches around the park still too, as well. But for the most part, that is pretty much it. Maybe some path elements that still need to be added, but overall, Midway Park is complete, and I want to thank everybody that's joined me in joined me in creating this park, because it's been a fun experience, and I can't wait to get on to the next parks, because I do tend to rush my projects sometimes. And I do have to say, this project got rushed a little bit more than I had hoped, but it still turned out fantastic, because it was a lot slower paced at the beginning, and then it just kind of sped up throughout the time, because everyone wanted, you know, roller coasters right off the bat, and every time I'm pressured into doing that, that does happen. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and an even cooler tomorrow. Be sure to like it if you liked it, and comment if you want to comment. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you, and goodbye.